The following thoughts on Happy Hour do not represent Cox Media Group or its sponsoring. Anything you hear may and will be used against you. Thank you. Voted as best local podcast in Tampa Bay by the Creative Loafing. You're listening to Happy Hour.
Are you feeling classy today? Sit down, pour a glass of wine, and listen to Happy Hour.
You're tuned in to Happy Hour, an hour where Happy rants about something. Sit back and listen in. Happy Hour is on now. Happy Hour is on now.
Yo, what up? How's it going? Great to hear. This is Happy Hour. I am your host, Ryan Hoppy, and we have so much to get into today. But first of all, shout out to comedian Amanda Jordan, who was voted best up-and-coming comedian in the Tampa Bay area by the Creative Loafing. And since I'm best local podcast by the Creative Loafing, it was an award-winning podcast. Ugh, shut up, Hoppy. Enough of the bragging. All right, tweet at me, at Ryan Hoppy Radio, and if you have the Hoppy Radio app, which you can get in the Google Play and iPhone shop, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you have to do is download the app, and then there you have the chat feature, so you can talk to me live anywhere in the world. If you're a part of the 70 download phenomenon going on in Cleveland, even though it's 16,000, you can listen live there. Or if you're in New Zealand, you can listen live. And also, you can listen anywhere, so spread the word. I have some breaking news I want to get into, but here's how it goes. I'm a huge geek for adult animation. It actually used to drive my dad crazy. I used to love watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force, Moral Oro, Stroker and Hoop, Ashy McGee, C-Lab, Harvey Birdman, Mission Hill, Oblongs, Family Guy, American Dad, Futurama, Simpsons, PJs, Dover Critic, South Park. I can name off any adult cartoon, and I was a geek for it. I'm sort of a savant for adult cartoons and radio and sports, kind of. And there's this new show. I like two of them that are on Netflix. I like BoJack Horseman a lot because it actually has better writing and better characters than any network TV show. Like, BoJack Horseman on Netflix is funnier by a million times than any show that CBS has aired. It's a lot funnier than The Big Bang Theory. And the other one that I like is F is for Family, and it's about Bill Burr's life. And Bill Burr is one of my favorite comedians. I love whenever he was on Opie and Anthony. I kind of grew up on him because he used to be such a frequent guest. I love his podcast, and I love whenever he's on any radio show. And he has that show known as F is for Family, and it's also co-created by Michael Price. And I have some breaking news I want to announce. Oh, yeah! I'm proud to announce that Michael Price, the co-creator of F is for Family, which is on Netflix. You can watch all 6 episodes of the first season. F is for Family co-creator Michael Price, who also works on The Simpsons. He will be calling into Happy Hour on Thursday. Shout out to Michael Price for getting back to me on Twitter, giving me a good old follow back, and setting this up. Shout out to Michael Price for actually hitting up the Netflix PR. Like, he didn't have to do that, but shout out to him for putting in the effort. And also, I'm a big fan of Netflix, love all their shows. Shout out to Netflix for being so cool and so gracious, and their great PR team for allowing him to come on the podcast. So this Thursday, the co-creator of Bill Burr's comedy cartoon F is for Family, he will be on the show on Thursday. I'm very pumped. Like, oh, I'm giddy. I love that show. I've watched it 3 times. Everyone talks about how they binge watch shows that are an hour long. With my attention span of ADD, ADHD, and bipolar, I don't have the time for that. Plus, I'm doing my radio show or working out or anything, my internship or sleeping. But I did binge watch that because it's a half an hour, so it took 3 hours. I've binge watched F is for Family about 3 times. It is so damn good. So watch it. All right. People often go, we have a drunk driving problem in America. people often go, we need to have more TV commercials. We need to have more awareness. People go, we need to have more DUI checkpoints. People go, we need to be harsher when it comes to the laws. But do we really want that? Are we really taking enough action to make this happen? Do we even want this to happen? Or deep down, do a lot of people just want to get away with drunk driving and going home? I will never, ever drive drunk because I have too much to lose. I love my job. I love my life. And I don't feel like putting my life on edge. And I don't feel like putting everyone else's life on edge because I'm a douchebag who would then drive drunk and put everyone else's life on edge. And just, it's so selfish. I don't get people who drunk drive. If you need to get drunk tonight and you're an alcoholic, you can get Uber, you can get Lyft. And I love the excuse they make when they go, but I don't want to have to sleep outside. Well, then don't get drunk, you dumb shit. Or I love the excuse, oh my God, but my car is going to get impounded and I'll have to pay $500. What would you rather pay, you dummy? $500? Or $17,000 minimum in lawyer fees, 6 months to even more like a year of having your license suspended, all these DUI classes you have to go to, and it being on your record, dumbasses. But here's an example of how we are being too lenient to drunk drivers. There's this Ethan Couch kid. And now, if you haven't heard about it, I'm going to break down his Wikipedia page. He is such a 18-year-old piece of shit. And I try not to swear too often, but he is a piece of shit. He's such an awful person that he has his own Wikipedia page for his riveting criminal record. Ethan Anthony Couch, age 18, is an American teenager who has been given 10 years probation in juvenile court on 4 counts of intoxication manslaughter. So it wasn't just like he drove drunk. He took the lives of 4 people and didn't get any jail time, especially when he's drinking underage and he killed 4 people because he's a selfish teenage punk-ass bitch, a pussy. He drove drunk on June 15th, 2013 in Texas. He was illegally driving on a restricted license and speeding, lost control, plowed into a group of people standing near a disabled SUV, and he also struck a parked vehicle which was there to assist. 4 people lost their lives that night. 2 passengers in his car, of course, suffered injuries, and there was 9 total injuries. So 4 people died and 5 people lived. And first of all, what I love about these drunk driving crashes, which I don't love, I'm just saying, it's an example, is that the people in the car that are drunk never seem to die. It's always the people that they hit that are just on the road trying to go about their day. It's never the selfish people that are putting everyone's lives at risk being on the road. It's never them that get paralyzed or die taking a dirt nap. It's always the people who are just being humans driving, which makes me sick. And you would think with everything I just read off, not having a proper license, hitting a disabled vehicle, 9 people getting injured, 4 people dying, you would think that would at least get you jail time. But no. In Texas, being an underage kid drinking and driving, you know what that gets you? 10 years probation, which is nothing. And you would think that when you get away with that, you basically got off scot-free. Just don't be a piece of shit for 10 years. Don't mess up your probation. You got off, dude. You got off, Ethan. But no. Here's what happened. He then freaks out. In late 2015, authorities began investigating a claim on Twitter on December 2nd, 2015. A Twitter user put up a video along with a caption that showed that Couch was in violation of his probation. The video shows several young underage men playing beer pong at a party. So he's underage drinking, breaking the law. Once again, can't go with his probation like a proper kid. He's a piece of shit. One of whom appears to be Ethan Couch. The conduct would be in direct violation of Couch's 10-year probation if any alcohol consumption was involved. Consequences might involve a resentencing, which could have a maximum of 10 years imprisonment, according to the Tarrant County District Attorney's Office. A warrant was issued for Couch on December 11th after his probation could not reach him. On December 18th, him and his mom, surprisingly, oh, what a coincidence, they were reported as missing and they could not be reached for contact from the probation officer. Who would have thought? Who saw this coming? When a punk-ass teen bitch who took 4 people's lives by drunk driving underage and is given 10 years probation. What idiot, moronic, dumb-brained judge goes, I'm just going to give him 10 years probation because he'll learn his lesson. He obviously didn't because he's underage drinking, not thinking that someone could videotape that. So, no, he doesn't turn himself in like a grown man, like a young adult. This pussy and his dumb bitch of a mom, they then go missing. And randomly, no one can find him. And he then is involved in a fugitive hunt. And it became a federal matter in December 2015 with the U.S. Marshal Service, the FBI, and other agencies joining the hunt for the suspect, who then fled the country. Who would have saw this coming? Who would have thought that an 18-year-old who took 4 people's lives by everything I read about what he did while drunk driving? Who would have thought that he would then break the law and then flee to Mexico? No one saw this coming because Ethan Couch is such a respectable human being. Ethan Couch was going to get his life together. Oh, yeah, what a great guy. Underage drinking. Everyone did it, but not everybody drunk drove. Oh, yeah. This dumbass judge, what's her name? I got to get her name out there. Judge Jean Hudson Boyd. What were you thinking? I get he's from a rich family, but at some point, money cannot matter in the courtroom when he took 4 people's lives and he's a punk-ass bitch who's 18, underage drinking, and he probably wasn't sorry since he was drinking again and then went on the run. At what point does money not matter? 4 people are now taking a dirt nap. There's probably not an afterlife, so they're gone forever. At what point does the criminal justice system need to step up and start having tougher laws against DUIs? We wonder why DUIs keep on happening. We wonder why they're getting worse and worse. Maybe because we're not having tough enough laws against it, and we're letting people like Ethan Couch slide scot-free with a 10-year probation. You know what you should have done? Given him 5 years prison. Anybody who drunk drives and puts people's lives at risk, not every single person should go to jail. But when you're someone like him and 4 people die, I don't care how rich and how privileged and how successful his family is. That should not matter when someone's life ends. Once you're dead, unless there's some heaven thing, you're gone forever. That should not matter. But this scumbag leech of a judge, Jean Hudson Boyd, they didn't care. Whoa, you're from Texas, you dumbass. So here's what happened. They end up getting caught and taken in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico on December 28th, right before the new year. Mexican authorities transferred the pair to immigration officers, and they then were deported to the U.S. I've never heard that before. You're getting deported to the U.S. It's something you never hear. Ethan Couch won a delay in his deportation based on a constitutional appeal in Mexico and was transported to a detention facility in Mexico City. On December 31st, his mom, this dumb bitch, Tanya Couch, was returned aboard a commercial flight to LAX in Los Angeles and was taken in by the LA police on a felony charge of hindering apprehension of a felon. She was then held on a $1 million bail, which is good. Because when you have that much money, you then have to pay 10%, so that's $100,000. It's a lot of money. But no. We don't seem to learn our lesson. This is a mother who allowed her kid to underage drink, and then she then let her kid be on the run after he was caught underage drinking, and she takes him to Mexico. So she's obviously an awful human being and an awful role model and a terrible mom. So what do? We don't keep the bail at $1 million. No, it was lowered to $75,000, which is then $7,500 when you do 10%. What are we doing? We wonder why DUIs keep happening. Maybe it's because we're letting rich, privileged people get away with them. Celebrities, rich people, you can basically pay off a DUI. She is supposedly wearing an electronic ankle monitor as a part of her bond agreement. Oh, what a punishment. You're not in jail and you have to wear an ankle bracelet. Oh, how will she survive, dumbass bitch? Authorities have accused her of helping her son, of course, leave the country to avoid a probation hearing that might have led to more jail time. At some point, Tanya, don't you realize that you're going to get caught in the day and age of, I don't know, cell phones and social media? That's how your kid was caught. So did you think you're going to get away with it just going south of the border and going to Mexico? Dumbass. Texas prosecutors have charged her with hindering the apprehension of a felon in bond, and it was initially set at $1 million. She arrived in Texas on Thursday after an LA judge approved her extradition more than a week after Mexican authorities brought her back to America. She will, of course, not plead guilty, but a part of her $7,500 bail, because that's how much she has to pay, because it's $75,000, but you do 10%. Here's everything she has to go through. Oh, the pain and suffering. Oh, she must wear an ankle bracelet. She must report to the cops on a weekly basis. She has to live with her son. Oh, how will you survive living with your other kid and family? Oh, what a punishment. Even though your dirtbag son took the lives of 4 people who now don't get to hang with their family. Oh, what a punishment, having to live with your family. Bitch. She must not drink, and she will be drug tested. Oh, what a punishment. You're alive. She will be placed under 24-hour house arrest. Oh, you get to watch Netflix and Amazon Prime and not be in jail. Oh, what a punishment. She cannot have any firearms or weapons. Oh, what a punishment. She must pay a weekly $60 fee. Oh, what a punishment. This is sad. We wonder why DUIs keep happening. We wonder why people feel entitled and they feel like they can get away with them. Maybe because people like this show that in this day and age, we don't treat it as badly as we should be. Somebody's life, 4 different lives are now gone because of drunk drivers, and so many lives are taken each year because of it. Because somebody got too drunk, they couldn't handle their liquor, or maybe they have a drinking problem, and then they're selfish, they didn't plan out the night, so they drive home. Murders are not preventable. Robberies are not preventable, but drunk driving is so preventable if you plan out your night and you don't drunk drive. It is such an evil crime to do that it's sad that we let dirty, rotten bitches like Tanya Couch get out of jail on a cheaper bond after trying to help her son flee to Mexico. Whatever. Moving on. And she's going to have to go under a mental exam. Ugh, that excuse we use all the time. Oh, she's mentally ill. No, she's just a dirty, rotten bitch who is an awful mom, who is probably her kid's best friend, which is why he's such a dirtbag, and she helped him flee to Mexico because she loves him. There's nothing mentally wrong with her, so why are we wasting the time with a mental exam while she's out on a cheaper bond? There's nothing wrong with her. She's just evil. She's just a bad person. What does she need to go under a mental exam for? What are we proving? We know she's a bad person. We know she doesn't care about being a good parent. We know that she fled the country like a coward, like a pussy. What is so mental about that? That's what any coward, that's what any loser, that's what any scumbag would do. You're not mental. You're just a pussy. Ridiculous. And here is the people we are defending. These scumbags took the life of this daughter. I have this article that is heartbreaking. And once again, none of this is on the front page of CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or the Huffington Post. I have to go to the British news site that I get all my prep on, which is the dailymail.co.uk. Why am I going to a .uk domain online to find unbiased news about drunk drivers? We wonder why drunk driving keeps happening. It's because we are giving front page news to Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and the fat-ass, untalented Kardashians. That's what we care about. We pretend we care about such problems as pedophiles and drunk driving, but nobody talks about it in the media. It's ridiculous. Why am I the person that's giving this story the time of day? Why aren't the news networks? We wonder why drunk driving and pedophilia keeps happening. It's because no one's talking about it. Nobody's heard about this teen. It's so sad. And I don't mean to raise my voice, but why is some little podcast in Tampa Bay talking about it more than the dirty, rotten bitch known as Ariana Huffington or any of the major news networks? God, are we screwed? It would be so preventable. Things would get better if we just talked about it. If we gave it front page news. Why is it so important that Tyga cheated on Kendall Jenner? Why is that more important to have on the front page of a news site than, I don't know, drunk driving victims? God damn it. Think about it. And I know articles like this don't get as much clicks as, let's say, the clickbait of, this is a lesbian that just touched the penis, like they had on the Huffington Post. I get it, it's not as good of a subject, but at what point does clickbait and easy articles matter when we could be helping out DUIs? At what point does a dirty, rotten quarterback known as Johnny Manziel matter when people's lives are leaving? We are so celebrity obsessed, we are so into sports that we forget that someday we will die, and people are dying too young and too soon because of drunk drivers, which is so selfish. And nobody wants to talk about it because nobody wants to talk about death. I've been talking about it more on my show, drunk driving and all of this, because my dad died in November, and you go, gee, someday you will die, and people are probably dying right now because of drunk drivers somewhere in the world. But no. Let's talk about Johnny Manziel and Donald Trump. God damn it. This is from the Daily Mail. Mother of one of the teen victims speaks for the first time about finding her daughter's legless body. That's how bad the DUI crash was. It was a legless body. And how the boy's wealthy father, keyword wealthy, tried to stage a photo op with her during the trial. God damn it. Breonna Mitchell, 24, was one of the 4 people killed on June 15, 2013, when she was hit by the teen Ethan Couch. She was on the phone with her mother at the time, who was close to the scene and heard the exact moment. She was killed. So the mom's talking to the daughter, just having a mother-daughter conversation. Like, imagine if you're a mother out there or you're a father, and you hear your kid and you're just talking, how was your day? How was school? How's life? How's the boyfriend? And then you hear the moment she takes a dirt nap. She leaves this earth. How can this judge in Texas hear all this evidence in court and just give this little bitch teen 10 years probation? Fuck Texas. Fuck people who get away with DUIs. I am sick and tired of this. The first person the mother saw at the scene was the drunk Ethan, who said, "You don't want to go that way. There's nothing good happening over there." Oh, what a moron. And at that point, he was 15 years old. So basically he's saying, don't go over there. She's dead. Sorry. Pussy. She then began to look at her daughter, and she eventually found the body after going through the ruins of the crash, and said that her legs were completely gone. They weren't just sort of there. They were completely gone. During the trial, Ethan's father then approached both Marla and her mother, asking for forgiveness. He's not sorry. If he was sorry about this, he wouldn't have put in so much effort to get his dirty, rotten bitch wife out on bail. If he felt so sorry, he would say, sorry, rot in jail, you bitch. But he doesn't feel sorry. That's just what he was forced to do in the courtroom. This is such an awful family. Why are we not talking about this? They could be the example of not drunk driving. People are now dead. I know we don't like to think about someday that our body's going to be in the ground, but people's bodies are in the ground because of this teen. Whatever. He also tried to get a photo with her, trying to hug her. This is from Chris Spargo from the Daily Mail. The mother of one of the Affluenza teen Ethan Couch's victims, is speaking out for the first time about the horror of finding her dead daughter's body and the shocking, creepy behavior of the father during the trial. Marla Mitchell lost her daughter, Brianna, 3 years ago on June 15, 2013, after her front tire completely blew out and her car crashed on the way home from her job. It was not the crash that killed the 24-year-old, though. So it wasn't like she just died immediately and then it just goes black. There was a few more minutes where she was by the road waiting for help, and Couch slammed into her and a group of people who had come to her aid. Her mother was on the phone with her when she was hit, and she arrived at the crash site, but then found her daughter. Marla, the mother, has now broken her silence in an interview with the Daily Mail, saying not just the horror and heartbreak of finding her daughter, but also the pure disgust with this pussy family. I added that last part in. She said she first met Ethan's father, Fred, when she went to court, and he ran up to her mother saying, "I just want you to know that I believe in God and I'm begging for your forgiveness." That dead air was for a reason. Do you think they want to hear that? That your rotten son, that your sperm took someone's life, and that you're asking God for forgiveness? God's probably not real. That is the most cliche, planned out line. How about when someone's life is taken away, you don't say shit to them, dummy? He went to shake her hand, but she backed away. And he told her at one point, "Well, we're going to do everything to make sure this is fixed." Okay, Ethan Couch's father, I know how you can fix this. Get a time machine. Don't knock up your wife, and make sure that this kid gets aborted so nothing gets added to the world. Or get a time machine and go back to June 13th, 2013, and don't let your kid drive drunk home, because there is no fixing this when this person's dead forever. So shut your mouth, you disrespectful bitch, when you said this 3 years ago at the jail. He then tried to give her a hug. What does she want from you? Your sperm took the life of her daughter who was just driving home from work. Whatever. Man, is this family fucked up. And I never say the F word on here. I try not to swear, but this family is evil, scummy, and fucked up. On the way back from the courtroom, she said something was odd. I turned and looked back at him before I walked back in, and I see 3 cameras pointing at us. She said it was totally staged. Marla struggles 3 years later with her daughter's death, especially since she was in the car when she heard it. The first person she encountered was the drunken, slurring Ethan, who said, "There's nothing good going on over there. Don't go over there, sorry." She had no idea who the fuck he was at the point. I added that part in. I had to second guess. If I had been there earlier, if I had seen it or heard it, maybe I could have saved her. Which has got to be the most heartbreaking thing, where you're just saying, I could have done something. I could have done something. How does the jury and how does the judge in Texas hear all of this and not give this kid some jail time? How do you give him probation? I don't care that the father is wealthy and that this is a to-do good family. I don't care. Someone's dead. These family members and friends will have to live with this forever. Whatever. God, we don't really care. It's sad. When things like this happen, we need to punish each and every one of them. Money should not matter. Because what's sad is, if this kid was some broke, homeless kid, he'd be in jail. But when he's rich, whatever. It shows that money means everything.